solar shining in the heavens, bright sun shining for everyone. Round fisherman row, keep on rolling your boat, brother man, y'all roll. Fisherman row, 'cause we got to reach a higher ground. Row. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girl women, and man boys everywhere. Today I want to talk to you about another dark and in-depth, detailed subject about the battle we're all in right now. In this, I have to give up a little shout out to the first online shaman that came to my attention, Andrew Bartzis, the galactic historian. And he made a statement years ago that it was okay for him to do his medicine on YouTube because he had learned how to be unpredictable. So, this video is going to be called Predators and Predictability. Okay, so the people that live in this part of the world here, the ones who still have had descendants that ran from before the Dark Ones hijack the age of Lemuria, or rather when their first incarnation as dinosaurs say was happening. So in those days, the people who lived in these parts of the world, or what's now Kauai, is known to be the last remnant of it, supposedly, according to psychics. We would have to hide in caves from these dinosaurs or they'd eat us. So one of the reasons some of the maybe 20% or 30% of the time when I assume somebody is mind controlled or narcissistic in Santa Cruz, it's because they have this ancestral memory and they still have a great reticence in the public after all the battles. So still haven't cleared it out. So the easiest way for the negative aliens to completely control you, at least on the subconscious mind level, is not just because you watch the mainstream media, but through you are programmable through the location you live, your habits, your alcohol, drugs, coffee, your predatory friendships or conversations you have with people who are disrespectful that you are still addicted to, and so forth. As I've said several times, or 12 times probably in my videos, I believe the Zetas and others have orchestrated through many psychics who have studied 15 different psychics on YouTube and other sources who have described in detail how, and this is one of the worst locations on planet Earth, how they subtly attempt to torture and abduct everyone mentally. And like I say, you could feel it as it could feel like a panic attack out of nowhere, and you're not the kind of person who gets a panic attack. For an example, again, as I've said, deep breathing, strictly regulated cannabis usage that with discipline, or taking tolerance breaks if you do it too much, taking more cannabis if you're used to a tiny bit, etc. Changing your habit as far as if you're over 21 or you have some illness, if you have, or taking psilocybin if you've never taken it. Anything you can do to change your habits, to alter your habits, kind of throws the Dark Ones for a loop. At first, they don't understand, and some of these negative aliens, interdimensional species, they don't have, as I've said many times, they don't have physical bodies. But as soon as you're on the lower emotional frequency, I mean, I could hear, like I say, it sounds like a flat screen beaming through a flat screen TV beaming through this forest because they pump so much through this region in the world that as soon as you're in the lower frequency, it's easier for them to help, cause an accident or cause you to have all kinds of verbal battles with your family and friends. Your fears of change or movement are like food to them. They can just feed on that. They just um, sometimes my other friend I made the Pollyanna video about. I wish I could, if he didn't have a little bit too much of that, control the Aries moon as well, that control side of his subconscious torment. You know, I've often wanted to tell him the people who are really had negative or just selfish, coercive, or possible. Sometimes I've told him people I thought were possible undercovers, but he's taken so much LSD and he has such a big heart. He's so oneness conscious and having the zodiac sign of the figure of a human. He doesn't. Again, the state of California has the Virgo sun sign, and my other friend, one of my other best friends, who's a sun sign Virgo. It's the same, like a tragedy of they love everyone so much that they try to be cool with everyone. And there's some of these people are so manipulative that I guess I've had more incarnations than them having the last signs in the zodiac in my birth chart, and I just don't buy it. I don't buy these con artists. I would just verbally assault them if I had to. I'm not, fortunately, through income, I'm not in need of depending or feeling the pressure to depend on any of these possessed kind of types. But I just, but it's each person has to ascend and learn on their own, and that's why I don't. So becoming unpredictable. There was one of the actually the first book I read about the subject of tantra was called the Tantric Quest, and in that book he said, or his teacher said, the highest level of awareness is spontaneity. So that's one of the reasons why I put my channel like in the format it's in. I mean, obviously laziness, or not even laziness, just I'm thinking about taking Mark Passio's course. I don't know all the different keystrokes, and I'm unwilling to get a microwave phone is another huge factor. So becoming unpredictable is a huge way that you can defeat the demons in your subconscious. When you travel, you can become free from some of the interdimensional parasites because some of them are locational. Some of them could be ghosts. Some of them could be simply, your regrets, your fears, your worries about, self-hatred about issues that, seeing things. Every time I see the sign that points one way, it's just, and also, some of them will stay with you still. You'll still have to clear some of them. But the NAs know your routine, okay? Clears out some of the, it'll clear out some of the Santa Cruz curse and the black magic money curse if you're from the West Coast. If you simply go to a relaxed place for a week or a month somewhere else, um, to get away from the congested fourth dimensional energies of the places we're at here, the negative aliens host the Illuminati are very predictable, man. They're very predictable, okay? That's the thing you got to realize. These demons are, once you get the hang of predicting it, this is the reason why I'm teaching this course for free for all of you out there, because I want to all of my friends and family and my new students to just stop, obeying them behaviorally, learn to take back your behavior and respect your heart and eventually live out your dreams. Discipline and default. Okay. These beings are fully capable of taking over parts of your subconscious if you operate in default, not only in obedience to the mainstream script, but I mean, just stuck in your habits. I've become this way myself. I've suffered from this. I'm a Scorpio Taurus from my chart when I first came here in a thunderstorm, and huge 2-week long thunderstorm in 2003, I believe. it takes um, for the negative alien agenda to make evil and greed, vampirism, codependency, narcissism, moral relativity, learned helplessness, wage slavery, dependency on welfare permanently, survival, the dark. It takes going into the default position. These themes are all connected, okay? So when you go into default, that means you're in the fault, the sin, you're missing the point. The default means you're on the fault, you're on the sketchiest place, the fault line, right? The answer is discipline. To You're predictable when you're on the default, when you're stuck in your rut, your habit, your lower feelings. The answer is meditation and discipline. Okay? The dark are in the default, the position of the default. Happiness results. The risen is when you're strong, inner discipline. When you have the discipline to change your routines. All habits can become purified through Saturn, whether through suffering, going to jail or war, becoming a mind controlled slave, and all that. Or, if you're more respectful to yourself, through setting your own limits and your own boundaries, knowing your boundaries, even through the pain and suffering. Or, if you're good, through meditation and clarity, knowing your limits of this body, whatever you're going to do with these two hands, knowing that, I'm not saying that you could go for 120 years. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, what if you're going to die today? I mean, I had to have this understanding of facing my death to begin this process of being a teacher on this, public platform here. So it's a good example. So we're always, to get real with your soul, you'll always be in the timeless raw now. What does that mean? Okay. So with your predictability of your routine, the Dark Lords, whether we're talking the Illuminati or the ones in bodies or the Freemasons, who went to the dark side, or any kind of predator, bully, want to kick your ass, or these interdimensional predators, okay? They find you easy food when you're predictable. Okay, so but when you're not predictable, if you're harmless, they kind of get to the point where they're like, well, this guy's just too much trouble, He's causing us trouble. That beside my faith, in the Most High and myself, that might be one of the reasons why I say prayers to the Illuminati for their peace if they say anything to me, but I mean, that might be another reason why they don't want to mess with me. So the point is that if you perceive yourself as one with everyone else, like it or not, it's the horrible and wonderful truth, and then you go out into the world, you can leave your routines. I mean, these aliens really have me convinced, and maybe through my fixed zodiac signs here of 19 and a half years, influenced me with all my luxurious Santa Cruz Libra mommy, surrogate mommy, just making it all too easy for me. But that in itself is a very, in the long term, a very cancerous and deadly concoction. I've always said, here's a spontaneous idea that I didn't write down that fits in with this video. I've always said, for me, or the shaman in me, I thought of this when I was a teenager. That couch and TV is the most deadly place there is in my dad's house. And I lived at my dad's till I was 25. Because he was a very nurturing guy. He had the same zodiac signs as USA in a different order. Sagittarius, Cancer Moon, Aquarius Rising. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and give me some comments, some feedback. And tell me, is this what they make into ayahuasca? This is what I've been wondering. I was lucky to get this on here. And subscribe if you've never seen this before and you haven't subscribed. And blessings and love to everyone. And if you got the the discernment and will become unpredictable.